Hey guys, KRS50 here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the FMCS 01 Kamen Rider Fourze base state from Kamen Rider Fourze. This is the first in the Fourze Module Change series, or FMCS for short. This is this year's gimmick figure line, wherein, for the Kamen Rider series of the year, a figure line is made that integrates the gimmick of the main rider for this year. In this case, it's Fourze's module change system. So, this includes 5 things: the figure and 4 Fourze modules. These are the rocket module, the launcher module, the drill module, and the radar module. So, to start, we'll look at the figure itself. So here we have it. This is Fourze in base state. So the main body is primarily white plastic. So as you can see, this is the design of Fourze. Very much white and having a resemblance to a spacesuit. You've got some various colors on him. You've got the primary color of white. You've got a little bit of silver on his shoulder pads, and on the chest plate, as well as on the sides of his head and his antennae. Got some orange on these stripings that go from the chest all the way down the legs. On both sides, as well as some orange eyes, a little bit of green here, and some green on the forehead for that little jewel there. You've also got the 4 module basements that have orange, blue, yellow, and black on them, as well as black striping all the way down both his arms and his legs. We also have the Fourze Driver, which is molded quite well but not painted. However, for the belt straps are completely silver, and the belt itself is a metallic blue painted. And since it's all painted, can't really tell what kind of plastic it has underneath. It also takes into account a lot of the little details of the Fourze suit. For example, we have these crisscrossing lines all across his body, as well as lines on the shoulder and down the sides of the chest. It does capture the rocket-shaped head of Fourze, with the 2 little wings on the side as the antenna, which actually are a little bit of an optical illusion, because they aren't actually 2 thin pieces, but rather 2 translucent, 2 clear plastic pieces with silver paint onto the front. This figure also has clear plastic eyes with some molded silver painted parts behind the eyes to give it a compound eye effect. It's got some lines on its neck, and those lines go all the way around to the back. On the back we've got even more detail, such as his built-in jetpack right here. Though it's unpainted, we do see the exhausts all along here, in the back of the suit as well. There are also mold detail on all 4 of the module basements, as shown by all those little lines. And you also get down to the feet, which in themselves are just pretty standard, not too much special about them. So that's the figure's details. So how about the articulation? Well, this thing is pretty well articulated. You've got a ball-jointed head that goes all the way around, has a little bit of side-to-side movement, and a little bit of up-and-down movement. The arms rotate a complete 360 degrees and bend in and out at a hinge up to that point. There's a bicep swivel right here, also goes all the way around. Has a shoulder joint, actually no, that's the shoulder joint That's the shoulder joint. This is the elbow joint. The elbow joint bends back this far and bends forward to a 90-degree angle. Also has a fully rotatable wrist and fingers that are articulated in 2 points. One for the first 2 fingers and one for the last 2. Like so. Has a full waist joint that can go 360 degrees, like so. And has ball jointed hips. They go forward and back, in and out, and can be turned like this. The only limitation to the ball joint is the way the inner leg is designed. Has a thigh swivel right here. Knee joint bends to 90 degrees. And the feet are on both a ball joint and a swivel joint. So they can be rotated and bent to accommodate for poses. So now we've seen the figure, let's take a look at the modules. And, well, as far as the joints go, these aren't the tightest joints in the world, but they'll do. I mean, as far as this figure goes, any loose jointage is probably just quality control. So saying that back there, we'll move on to the modules. First is the rocket module. So this is actually not orange plastic, but painted white plastic. But it is well coated in this nice orange paint, and is shaped like a rocket ship. It has this nice elongated body, has the rocket tip and the booster engines at the back, 5 to be exact, which are likely black plastic rather than also painted. Like Fourze, this also has a lot of molded in detail when you really get to look at it. Got a lot of lines throughout, has these 4 little circles around the tip. You have this one large circle here, and even has some fins for the booster engines. Now, one of the things that I'd like you all to notice as I go through this review is that each module incorporates the shape of its respective module basement. So for this, the general cylindrical shape, the circles all around, and this one big circle is indicative that it goes to the circle module basement on Fourze's right arm. Next is the launcher module. This one, as shown by these 2 crosses, goes to the module basement on his right leg. So, once again, painted white plastic. This one is a missile launcher, with the launcher part on the side, while in the middle, or at least in the main part, we have how it connects to Fourze's leg. So once again, a lot of molded in detail, a lot of lines, some indents, even going as far as the back and the sides, as well as some cross-like detail right here on the front. Even some lines in where the missiles are. Now this is actually a functioning missile launcher. It has these 2, which are spring-loaded missiles, which are fired via this button right here. So basically, you just press it down like that, and they fire out. Now, I fired it right at my hand so that I wouldn't lose them, because, well, despite how this looks, the missiles are actually the launcher itself is actually fairly strong. And so these missiles actually fire pretty far. If I were to fire this at nothing, I would have to go and retrieve the missiles, so I don't want to really do this. The set also includes 2 spare missiles in case you lose either of these. while these 3 lower missiles are just molded on. And I think it's a good idea that they only made 2 of the missiles fireable, because if all 3 could be launched, that could be problematic in having to look for 5 missiles every time you use it. So next is the drill module, which goes to Fourze's left leg. So this one is white plastic painted in yellow and silver. It's got a lot of nice, it's a well-coated little thing, and the yellow is a nice color to it. Also has yellow on the tip here. Like the others, this has a lot of molded in details that really do make it a nice looking piece. Also has a kind of rotary engine on the inside there. And for this, the triangular shapes are pretty apparent in that this part is a triangle shape. The drill itself is an elongated triangle, and also the tip is a triangle. So that works out pretty well. The drill itself can also be manually rotated like so. And it is an actual spiraling drill. If you run your finger along this from the bottom to the top, if you continuously run around it, it will move down so that your finger goes from the bottom to the tip. But that is a lot of rings to go through. Still another nice piece. And last but not least is the radar module. This one goes to Fourze's left arm. So this one has a little screen here, which is a screen for communication with Fourze's allies. Also has the main radar dish part right here, with this part that sticks out here, a line across, and general circular shape that does make it resemble a satellite dish or a radar. Once again, more molded in detail. Though because of its small size, it has less molded in detail than the rest. Also works on a hinge, so that it can go from this position to this position. And the square screen itself is the indicator for it being for the square module basement. So now that I've shown them off, I can equip them to Fourze, but not without some help from the Fourze Driver. My bad. So, doing that over again. So, for the rocket module, you gotta take Fourze's arm, and one of the things about it is that these all slide on. So you have the little indent in here, and then you have the bar here. So you just gotta line the two up, and then slide it on. And so there you have the rocket module equipped. So as you can imagine, the main thing of the rocket module is both its size and the boosters in the back that can let him achieve flight higher than he could get with the jet booster on his back, as well as give rocket-powered punches to his opponents. This doesn't limit the articulation too much, besides how the articulation itself is already made. So you can get him into some poses with it. And it isn't really much of a hindrance despite its size and length. So next is launcher. Whoops. So for that, you have to take the foot and fold it down. Then, using that same kind of joint, slide it in like so. Then put the foot back in place and you have the launcher module attached. And for a more dynamic pose, you can basically bend his legs like so. Next is drill. That one's also pretty simple. You once again fold down the foot, then take it and slide it on, like so. And there you have the drill module attached. So for this one, as you can see, it points straight down. So this is the kind of thing where it's best to try to use a stand for posing, since this basically makes his legs uneven in how they go to the ground, but you can raise it up so that he's basically bouncing on it. Though it does look a little bit awkward. And then the fourth module, of course, is radar. And this one is also simple. You really just take it and slide it on, like so. And you have it attached. And so it can basically be like this, where it can be used for communications, or like this, where it's used for targeting. Though because of the joint, that requires a little bit of maneuvering of the arm, like so. And of course, since this is Fourze we're talking about, you can use multiple modules in conjunction with each other. Like, of course, rocket and drill. So that just requires you to put them on at the same time, which is really simple enough. So now you have Fourze with the rocket and drill attached, and with the right posing, you can get him into a kind of kicking pose like that. And have him do the rocket drill kick, his main limit break, just like that. You can also do the combination of launcher and radar. Once again, as simple as just putting on two at the same time, or having them both on at the same time. So you can fire homing missiles, like so. And that's not actually the limit of how you can play with it, because one of the facts is that these are all actually on the same joint. So technically, you aren't actually limited to putting one thing on one module basement. For example, you could put this over here, though because of the shape it is basically impossible to put this on either of the legs. However, you can do stuff like putting the drill module on one of his arms, with the right maneuvering, that is. Or perhaps not. Let me try this with this one. It works to a degree, it doesn't exactly lock into place. You could also attach the launcher module to one of the arms. At least I think. Kind of. Perhaps like this. Well, okay, that isn't quite... There seems to be something limiting them there. But you can technically do something like this. Or something like this. At the least, the arm modules are exchangeable and the leg modules are exchangeable. And of course you can have all four on at the same time. So, you just put all four on, like so. Then I have Fourze with all his modules on. And just take them off as simply. So now I'm just gonna kind of set them back into place and move on with a little bit more. So there's the figure. Moving him back a ways. Then setting the modules back into place. So some of you out there are probably wondering how this is going to compare to the Figuarts version, the SH Figuarts version. Well, there are some things about that. The first thing is that the SH Figuart version of Kamen Fourze base state is not yet available, so for the time being, this is the most articulate Fourze figure out there. But it is pretty clear that with the kind of joints that a Figuarts figure has, that the Figuarts version is going to have more articulation. It'll also have a fully painted belt. However, for what's worth, I don't think it really stands up to it, because the Figuarts version is only going to include the rocket and drill modules. To get launcher and radar, you'd have to buy a separate set that comes with them, plus camera and magic hand. However, I really would suggest getting this, because this actually gives you more options. Because you have these 4 modules, you have more posability, you have more posing options, you have more play options. And personally, when it comes to me in figures, I like a figure that I can really play with. And for me, this is a great figure to play with, because the articulation is good, it has great detail, it has the modules that you can attach in whatever combination you want to. And the Fourze module change series is something that's ongoing, so as this series goes on, there will be more releases. There actually are some more releases out right now. And each release comes with 4 more modules for your collection. So the more of these figures you get, as you're going to see in my next 2 reviews, the more playability these figures add to each other. But I won't go into that too much in this review. You'll have to watch my next reviews to see some of that. But really, I would recommend picking up this figure if you like Fourze and are looking for a good figure. You could technically wait for the SH Figuarts version, but I think that if you want a Fourze figure that you can play with, and that really gives you more options in terms of what you can do with it, then I would recommend picking up this figure. So, thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel for more videos. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.